Hello. Hello. Many will say that they understand the disadvantages of poverty, while others will say those who are poor choose to be poor and to remain in poverty because they don't seek to do better. Hi, I'm Cynthia Coleman, your master life coach and mental health coach. I grew up in extreme poverty, and I must say, unless you've lived it, you don't know it. It in my years of childhood and poverty, if I wasn't growing up in the shadows of abuse, I was growing up in the midst of abuse. In all of that, my parents were just trying to survive. They were trying to provide for their children. There was no direction, there was no coaching, there was no counseling, there was no nurture. It was just growing up like little weeds. So we would go to school. Teachers would say things like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I would say, "I want to be a criminal defense attorney." Well, there were circumstances surrounding my household that warranted me wanting to be a criminal defense attorney. But as I continued to go to school and go to school and go to school, eventually I realized that that was just a dream, that I could not accomplish being a criminal defense attorney. You may ask why? Why would she be thinking that way? Well, because I was poor and higher education cost money. In the midst of poverty, you don't have money to pay for education, and you don't think that you can afford the education. So I started losing hope. I lost hope. And when I started losing hope, I then dropped out. I dropped out of high school by the time I was 15 years old. At 16 years old, I was having a child. At 17-year-old, I was having another child. About 19 years old, another. 21, another. By the time I was 25, I had 5 children. What can I really do with my life? Well, let's go backwards to the age of 21 real quick. At the age of 21, I decided to get on public assistance. And when I decided to get on public assistance, because the state government here in the United States would pay for my housing, give me a food allowance, and give me a small amount of money. But when I went and I applied for this assistance, the social worker said, you got to go back to school. You have to get a trade. You have to go back to school. So I go back to school. She says, you have to get your GED. What a GED is here in America is an equivalent to a high school diploma. So I had to, in order to get these benefits, go back and get my general education diploma. And when I succeeded at obtaining the general education diploma, I felt like I had arrived, like I had just completed the best thing ever. But I would quickly learn that it would only take you so far because, again, you need an upper education to get any further. So I continued to work really hard at jobs, dead-end jobs here, there, and everywhere. And finally, I got the courage to apply at the local sheriff's office because it said all I needed was a high school diploma or GED. I go to work at the sheriff's office. And when I go to work there, I see people going to college. And I'm like, how do they afford this? And I finally worked the courage up to ask someone, how can you afford college? And then that's when she showed me. She showed me that the United States government will pay for college for those who are under a certain income guideline. I seen hope again. And so I did. I went back to college. But quickly I would learn that the balance of home, 5 children, and college, I had to make a sacrifice. I had to provide for my children. I had to be there to support my children. So here again, I have to quit. I have to give up my dream here again because it's not obtainable for me. Still today, I strive to reach my goals. But as I do, I also decided I want to be the voice of impact in someone's life. I want to be the support system that they need in order to not have these hurdles, in order to know to know that there is opportunity available to them. Not only opportunity available to them, but people who will support them, and that they can and they will achieve their goals. But whatever they do, do not quit. Do not quit. Let me go on this journey with you as your life coach and your mental health coach, building your confidence and your character to achieve any and everything you aspire to. Thank you.